folks, I'm Tyler Henderson. Thanks for joining us here on East Texas in Focus. Let's go ahead and get started today. Tonight, we are introducing you and focusing on Dr. Julie Philley. Dr. Philley recently named as the next president of the University of Texas at Tyler, taking over the university at a time of transformation and integration. UT Tyler is home to nearly 10,000 students across their 5 campuses. And last fall, the university's new School of Medicine also welcoming their first class as the school continues to innovate across its more than 90 undergraduate and graduate programs. That's why we want to welcome Dr. Julie Philley to the studio. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations on the new gig.
Thanks, Tyler. I'm so glad to be here, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, a lot of people want to know, they just want to get to know you. I mean, you've been at UT Tyler for quite some time. So just tell us a little bit about your time there and a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, you mentioned it. I grew up in Overton, Texas. Mustang, you know, senior 95, but about a town of 2,000, about 30 minutes from here. Second of 5 kids. My dad was an extension plant pathologist that studied lots of plant diseases and was a rose specialist, so you can imagine, did a lot of work in East Texas for obvious reasons. But long story short, I always wanted to be in the healthcare field, so I went off to college at Texas Women's University and eventually was fortunate enough to go to medical school at McGovern there in Houston, one of the UT schools. Decided I wanted to do internal medicine, ended up in Baltimore before deciding Texas is really my home, came back to do pulmonary and critical care at UT Southwestern, and then said, you know, the right place for me is still East Texas. So I moved to Tyler, worked for the Health Science Center starting in 2012.
All right. I mean, you've been a little bit of everywhere, but for whatever reason, we talked about it before we started. East Texas just kind of draws you in. It feels like home. It just feels like home. So now we talked a little bit about your journey to coming back. How does it all feel? Because it's happened pretty quickly. I mean, what has the last couple of weeks been like for you?
Well, to be honest, it's been a little bit surreal, right? It wasn't necessarily in my playbook to become the president, but I'm just so honored. I can't even tell you what a privilege it is to find myself here in this position. And again, thinking about how to serve East Texas is so important to me. Absolutely,
especially being a part of East Texas, being an East Texan yourself. You want to serve it the best way you can. And so let's get started here. I mean, as president, we want to know some of your biggest and most urgent priorities. I know it's kind of a newer role. You said it wasn't really in your playbook, but going into this things, what's at the top of your mind about how you want to kind of transform UT Tyler?
Well, I think higher education is at a point where we've got to focus on what's important. And you know what's important is producing the workforce and people that can get good jobs for a reasonable cost and a reasonable time frame. So what I'm thinking about really is what are the needs of East Texas businesses and health systems and schools and other types of industry. What do we need to produce? And then trying to focus on those things. Really so that every East Texan, and every Texan for that matter, has an opportunity to come to UT Tyler, get a great education, and translate that into a better life. Really. Absolutely.
Now, I know for some universities, and back where I'm from, the talk was whenever you have great students at your universities, keeping them local. I mean, that's got to be in your playbook as far as this new role goes. So talk to me a little bit about that.
You bet. We want to invest. We want to invest in students at a very early age. And I mean, I know you can remember we were talking before we got started about how important it is to think about what you want to do and have those opportunities along the way. So we've got to get out into all of the counties in East Texas. And again, everyone is welcome at UT Tyler, but thinking about what do East Texan students need? And then how do we provide those resources and opportunities so they can achieve a higher education?
Right. Now, we've talked about that you've held a different title for some time. So let me make sure I get this right. You're currently the school's Executive Vice President for Health Affairs and a Provost at UT Tyler. And so previously a professor and chair of the Department of Medicine, plus a researcher. So how do you think all of that culmination of all that experience is going to help you in this next phase at UT Tyler?
It sounds like a lot of words, right?
Yeah,
yeah, it makes me sound very important. The reality is what I've had the honor to do over the past multiple years is be over the health side of what we do for the university. So anything related to health, providing health care, the School of Medicine, and then all of the degrees that are that that serve our health systems: nursing, pharmacy, health professions. And so that's what I've been focused on. So I've been heavily involved in the university for the past, 12 years. This will be an expanded role, and I look forward to learning about the other aspects of the university and being equipped to take those to the next level, things like educating teachers, engineers, business, etc.
Absolutely. And you've, like I said, you've been at UT Tyler. You've seen it transform. It's changed a lot over the last couple years. I've seen about it. I've heard about it, even though I haven't been here all that long, but I've heard about how all the cool things are happening at UT Tyler. So now you joined the university when it merged with the Health Science Center there. So what does that integration look like, and how is that going up to this point?
Oh, listen, I've been, a working professional at the university for 12 years, but I remember the days when UT Tyler was just a 2-year school, and that was when I was in high school. Became a 4-year college in 1998. So, the thing to do, years ago was you would go to junior college or a community college and then go on in advance to UT Tyler for your second 2 years, and that's clearly very different now. The growth is immense, and I do want to point out by saying I'm so East Texan. I went to Tyler Junior College from Overton High School, had a fantastic experience, and got an opportunity and the confidence really to understand that I could do higher education. So UT Tyler has just grown an incredible amount since that time. Now a 4-year school, right around the 10,000 student mark, looking to grow even further. And we're trying to offer kind of soup to nuts degree plans. So if you can dream about something that you want to be and you live in East Texas, we hope to provide it right here at home.
Right, and now that integration, that's such a pivotal part of what UT Tyler offers now. So walk me through how that betters the school, how that betters the students going forward, because again, with the UT health system right here in our own city, I mean, that presents a huge opportunity for some of these students that may want to go into that field.
Well, you're exactly right. And just speaking about the health programs, it's hard to imagine. We have one of the largest nursing schools in the state of Texas. We have the College of Pharmacy, our Fish College of Pharmacy. We have degrees in public health and occupational therapy and many other things. And then, as you know, we started our School of Medicine with its last class enrolling 40 students a year just last year. With our second class, it will start in July. So again, if the region needs it and our people deserve the best quality, we plan to produce it.
Absolutely, and heard nothing but good things. We've got some UT Tyler students at work here, and they speak very highly of this school, so that's some good feedback for you. So now, why is choosing to study in East Texas, again, where you're from, a smart option for students contemplating college after high school?
Well, I think several reasons. Number one, you can obtain a degree that's just as high quality here as you can in other universities. Number two, it's close to home, and so the affordability and the options of where to live or perhaps have a part-time job as you go to school are here and abundant. And the third thing, and I think one of the most important things, is the people in East Texas, right? I think that we wake up every morning thinking about how do we serve, how do we create better opportunities for the residents that live here? And to be able to do that right in your hometown is something that, like I say, if it doesn't tug at your heartstrings, then we, as I say, sometimes we need to check for a pulse.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think that's a pretty good start so far. We'll be right back with more East Texas in Focus with Dr. Julie Philley, the next president of the University of Texas in Tyler. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back. We're focusing on the University of Texas and Tyler's newest president, Dr. Julie Philley. And before being selected to lead the growing university, Dr. Philley serving in many roles at UT Tyler. As we mentioned before the break, she was first an assistant professor of medicine back in 2012. While doing her own research, she also earned a bachelor's degree and studied medicine before completing her internal medicine residency at Johns Hopkins University, all leading her back to UT Tyler and to become part of the university's leadership team. So Dr. Philley, let's talk about a little bit about that medical background that you have. Obviously, being in the medical field, you've seen the needs of the community. So how is UT Tyler in this new phase with you kind of taking over? How are they going to be a part of that?
Well, I think the growth that we've experienced and the healthcare needs of the region are so great that we have got to be able to produce our own workforce. I think a prime example of that is what happened during the pandemic. All across the nation, we were in need of healthcare workers. Same thing as in East Texas. And you know, we thought about that during that time, although our plans had already been underway before the pandemic began. It highlighted we've got to be able to produce our own. And so that started or continued rather, a journey that had been underway for some time. So the beginning of the School of Medicine has just really changed things, Tyler. But another thing that's so important that people need to understand is that our training after medical school has just exploded right here in East Texas. What people often forget, and I'm not sure I knew about this before I went to medical school, but you go to medical school for 4 years and then you're not prepared to be a doctor. You have to do on-the-job training. It's called a residency program. And so, hard to imagine, but in the past 5 years, we have grown to having well over 200 residents and fellows in training. These are physicians that have graduated from medical school and are training right here in our health systems in East Texas to finish their medical training. What are the things they're training in? Internal medicine, surgery. We're training cardiologists, gastroenterologists, pulmonary critical care physicians, hematologists, oncologists, occupational therapy, sports med. I mean, over 21 programs that we're training right here in East Texas in the medical field. It's absolutely incredible.
Absolutely. Now, we heard that first class came through last year. So how did it go? I mean, we're wrapping up one full year, looking on to a couple more classes here. What's it looking like? How's it go?
Well, you know, probably the best person to ask that is our Dean of our School of Medicine, Dr. Brig Willis. Brigham Willis came here and has just really changed everything about medical education and training these young medical students. But it's gone great. The first class has 40 students in it. The majority of those students are from East Texas or have ties to East Texas, and they certainly care about the things we care about in East Texas, and that's taking care of each other, especially during the tough times. And so we think it's off to a great start. We're happy to welcome our second class in just a few months.
It's exciting stuff happening. Now, I know the physical building is still a work in progress. Can you give us an update on what the physical building's looking like?
The physical building, drive down Beckham and you'll see this 250,000 square foot large building slated to be completed late summer, early fall of 2025. So just a little over a year from now. Hard to believe. It's going to be state of the art, absolutely gorgeous. Being constructed by our local architects, Fitzpatrick, and local constructions with HDR and other groups. Lots of just local leadership participating in this construction of this beautiful building. The medical school will be housed there. There will also be some clinical services and some health care and operating rooms that will meet the needs of East Texas.
Awesome. Just another outlet to get more medical attention to our residents out here. Now, I want to focus kind of on the students there. We've got a lot of great research happening at UT Tyler, and a lot of the professors, a lot of the students are involved in that. So what are some of the things that you can share with us about their research? What are we looking at? What are the areas they want to dive into?
Research is something that has come a long way in the past decade at UT Tyler. Research in higher education, like universities, are designated in different classes. And we actually moved up a class within the past few years to an R2 Carnegie class for research, which means that we bring in quite a bit more research dollars and have quite a bit more prestige actually for research. On the healthcare side, some of the things that we've historically been very good at are chest diseases and infections related to the lung, and ways the immune system blocks and attacks things like tuberculosis, for example. Many people in East Texas remember that our history actually was as a chest disease hospital for many, many years out on 271 and 155, the Health Science Center. So that's our history, and we're extending and we're leaning into that for the future, continuing that research work and that very important thing. And actually in 2012, that's one of the reasons that I came back, because I've always studied women's lung infections that are not contagious, that are cousins of tuberculosis. It's interesting work. Maybe a segment for another day.
Sounds like a lot of interesting stuff happening on the medical side of things over at UT Tyler, but there's plenty of other programs that UT Tyler has to offer. I mean, and it's always growing, it's expanding. What can you tell us about some of those programs that people need to know about?
You bet. I would point out that our College of Engineering is quite simply excellent. Quite a bit of research funding coming into our programs related to engineering. We're training engineers across the spectrum. In addition, we understand the importance of training our future teachers, and education is another big focus of UT Tyler's and will continue to be in the future. Our Souls College of Business has a long history. The Souls family has been so generous to our organization, but our College of Business is state of the art because of the investments that East Texans have made in UT Tyler, and we continue to train just lots of business professionals across the continuum.
Right, and as obviously the school's got to change with the way the world changes, everything's changed, technology's getting better, and so y'all are offering programs now in data analytics and cybersecurity, which is really cool. But that's so important with the way that technology is going now. So why is that so important to offer here in Tyler?
Oh, I think it's so important because it's just something we all have to think about, right? How do we keep our security systems safe? How do we use state-of-the-art technology? And how do we use it safely? I think we use these words, artificial intelligence, a lot, and data analytics. But what does it mean? And functionally, it means for East Texas that we can train professionals to help businesses and other organizations remain safe, other nonprofits as well.
All right. Well, you know, academics, awesome. Top of the line, plenty of research funding coming in. Athletics may fly under the radar except for a certain national championship. Brought some hardware back pretty recently with the softball team. So talk to me about how the athletics at UT Tyler make such an impact, the importance of athletics, and obviously successful programs that y'all have down there.
It's hard to argue with Division II softball champions, okay?
Right.
I mean, let's face it, that was a huge win for our Lady Patriots, and they just are a phenomenal team. But this isn't a first occurrence. They have won titles and have been very competitive for years now. We're so proud of them. But that was just a recent win that we just couldn't be more excited about. We have lots of other sports, lots of other athletics that we love to support, and just runs the gamut. Athletics is a really important part of student life. It's an important part of community. It's an important part of growth as a person, and the teamwork and collaboration that occurs is, as you know, incredible. So we plan to continue to support our Patriots and support athletics.
Well, it's got to be a good luck charm. You come in, a national championship is brought back to the Rose City. That's a pretty high bar to set.
Yes, I take no credit, but I will say it's just been a very nice little cherry on the top to be able to celebrate that.
Absolutely. Lots of great things happening at UT Tyler. When we return, we're going to hear your thoughts. They'll be heard ahead as we open up the In Focus inbox after the break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's that time of the show which we normally hear from you, our viewers, from our In Focus inbox. This time we opened questions to the UT Tyler community. This one from Josh P. saying, what changes can we, the students, expect as you're entering the president role in the position?
Well, thanks for that question. I think I'd ask the same question if I was a student. Because I've been at UT Tyler for a long time, and I've gotten to work under our prior president and my mentor, Dr. Kirk Calhoun. You know, he was here for 22 years. What I hope the students see is a continued focus on their success. We literally exist to serve the students and to make them successful, and we owe it to them. We owe it to their parents. We're public servants too, and we're going to have a focus on making sure that we offer the highest quality product and making sure that they're getting their biggest bang for their buck so that they, again, can have successful careers. Josh, I hope I'm answering your question. We're going to focus on you.
All right. Let's get to this next one. This one was sent by Vanessa O, saying, how will the president foster innovation and academic excellence?
The president is one person, and if there's anything that I think many of us have learned in any type of leadership position is that you have to hire well, and you have to hire people that really believe in the mission of what you're trying to accomplish. You have to remove the barriers so they can be successful, and you have to build programs at a pretty quick rate. And that's what I hope to do, is build teams of people that believe in East Texas, believe in UT Tyler, and are committed to our mission.
And I'm saying this as a recently graduated college student. There's always a professor, always a teacher in a high school, a coach that has left that impact. And so when you hire well, you have that same impact, and it lasts forever. I mean, it's the teachers that you have and you hire, absolutely incredible.
Tyler, I want to be honest with you. A woman named Betsy Ott at TJC taught me anatomy and physiology. She changed my life. She's one of the reasons I am where I am today, so your point is very well taken with me.
I owe a lot to my career to a one Hutton Harris at ACU, so I know he'll never hear this, but Hutton, thank you for giving me some confidence to get into this. We'll get to the last question sent in by another student, Nayeli C, saying, with your expertise in health affairs, how do you plan on addressing or looking over other majors at the university?
It is true that my background is in health, but that changes now. I have to be focused on a large number of things that are not health related, and so I'm going to start this presidency by focusing on those and making sure that the stakeholders in those particular areas, including the students, understand how important they are. I don't know everything, but I'm going to open up my ears and listen, understand the needs, and do my very best to provide the best resources possible to make those areas successful.
Absolutely. I have one question for you. Obviously, you mentioned Dr. Kirk Calhoun. He's been there a long time, just going off into retirement. What were some things that you learned from him that you can keep in your back pocket as you take this new role?
Oh, so many. I mean, I can't say enough wonderful things about Dr. Calhoun, including just his support of me personally and giving me opportunities that I would not have had otherwise. But I think the one thing about Dr. Calhoun is he's a true man of compassion. He truly listens, and he wants the best for people. His kindness is something that is absolutely incredible, and I'll take many things with me that I've learned from him, but again, is the ability to listen, not to overreact, and to try to make decisions that are in the best interest of the organization is something that is really important. Awesome.
Well, as always, we invite for some more feedback to focus on. If you want your voice to be heard next week, send us an email at infocus@ketk.com.